As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be.
Oh man, it's 8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
Brav Bros. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brav Bros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody, for whoever wants to listen. I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined, as always, by the one and only Martha's Vingoots. Now we're doing Jersey.
You're a fucking moron. Leave it in. I don't give a shit. That's so funny.
What an idiot. I just clarified.
We just talked about this.
I know.
Yeah.
So what are we doing first? Jersey? Okay. Gooder Vineyards.
We're doing Jersey first. Don't let that fool you at all. I don't know what the hell Steele just did.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. This is a New Jersey episode. I'm not even tired. I actually am pretty with it today. So that's alarming if I'm feeling good and with it and still can't put my thoughts together.
Looking forward to that second episode today.
Hey, you know how the second episode gets.
You know what happens.
Yeah, but this episode is RHONJ, RHONJ, whatever you want to call it. I need to talk to you
About?
RHONJ.
Okay. Do we have to do a state of New Jersey every episode?
I just, where are you at right now?
I mean, look, we're not getting, I don't really know, honestly. I keep trying to spin it in my mind to say that it's a little different than it is, but it's really not. It's just the same stuff over and over. It's the same tropes with different people, with different situations, and it all comes back to the same thing. I want to say we're getting a bit of a different dynamic now because you've got other people fighting in it, but it's really just the same fights that we've been dealing with and the same type of behavior from one side versus the other, or the people who are in the middle just trying to stay out of it. So yeah, nothing's really changed. I don't hate it. Surprisingly, it's not that riveting. It's not that exciting compared to other shows that are on the network at this point. So I don't know. It's just a whatever watch for me right now.
That's good. That's actually not a bad place to be.
I think that's a win, honestly.
Yeah, that's a W because I hate it.
Okay.
My whole point, and actually before we get into this, because then we're going to dive right in, there's no reason to preamble. But the one thing I do want to talk about is we are, 92 members away from 250? So we are almost to that 250 mark so that we can start our rom-com episodes, our bromance episodes. For those of you that don't know, we have started a membership program. It's called Brav Bros Members. You can sign up by clicking the link in our Instagram bio. It is $5 for the month, $50 for the year. It will include things such as these exclusive episodes. It's really hard for me to say that every time.
Exclusive episodes.
When we hit 250 members, we will be putting out exclusive episodes that are for members only, and they will start out with a rom-com series that may extend into a permanent thing. We don't know. We'll see how it's received, but we're really excited about that, to put out these rom-com eps, because we both, guilty pleasure, love rom-coms.
Absolutely.
Love them to death. I was thinking about the other day, what would be a fun one to do? Remember Fool's Gold?
Fool's Gold is good, yeah.
To go through all of McConaughey's catalog.
We could just do a bunch of McConaughey, Kate Hudson movies.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
McConaughey had such a great... Before he was McConaughey from True Detective and Interstellar and all these amazing movies and this incredible actor, he was McConaughey. He was Rom Conaughey.
Rom Conaughey.
And Rom Conaughey was one of my favorite rom-com actors. And the fact that that's not a term, coin it.
Yeah, definitely coin it, put it on a t-shirt. I don't care what we have to do. Absolutely do that. And look, you might be sitting here listening and saying, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I hope that whoever is being a member is going to have some fun and enjoy those episodes. You could enjoy those episodes for just $5 a month.
That was a good sales pitch.
Right? That is a good sales pitch.
That was good.
And maybe you're like, you know what? I'll wait until later. You want to get in on this early because you actually get to dictate what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You get to vote on rom-coms that we're going to do, and we're not stopping at rom-coms. We're going to do everything. Whatever you want us to watch, we'll watch it. We'll talk about it. We'll put out special episodes. And the rest of you who are not members won't get to listen to it. So it's just as simple as that.
The other thing you're going to get to do is a monthly Zoom with members only, where you can jump on with Shooter and I, say whatever you want, talk about the state of Bravo, bring up new shows that we should watch. You can talk about your day. I don't care. That's your prerogative.
We talk about our days all the time, so now it's your turn.
Yeah, so don't wait. Go click that link in the bio. It's also at the end of the show description of this episode. Go down there, click that. $5 for the month, $50 for the year. Join Brav Bros members. Don't miss out on the craze that's sweeping the nation. Actually, it's international.
It is international, yeah.
Technically. But, okay. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into Jersey. And, I mean, I don't know, dude. For me, the biggest issue with this episode, before we jump in, everyone's getting in trouble for talking to everybody else. How do you have a show when you can't talk to anybody?
I don't know. And obviously, there's two people at the front of that with Rachel and Marge who are seemingly dictating all of their friends' actions and who they want to talk to and
They're
who they can't talk
attempting to dictate.
They're definitely attempting to, and I'm happy that it's not landing. And that's why I want to say that it's a little different than it has been in the past, because usually it's an unspoken agreement. We don't talk to the other side. We don't talk to anybody who is mingling with the other side.
Yes.
We just don't do that. Now we're actually seeing instead of it being behind the scenes, we're seeing Marge talk to somebody like Fessler. We're seeing Rachel talk to somebody like Fessler or Jackie or whoever that might be talking to Teresa, might be talking to Jen Aydin. And they're actively telling them, no, I don't want you to do that, to the point where Rachel's crying about it.
She was not actually crying. She was fake crying.
It's funnier if she's crying, so I'm going to say she was crying. Like, that's such a weird move. It's so manipulative, but it's not even good manipulation.
No.
It's awful, because you've got somebody like Fessler who is, honestly, we've said before, she's the best friend of on any of these housewife shows.
Board.
And she's been so steadfast in not choosing sides and just kind of like talking to whoever she wants to talk to, being friends with whoever. So it's nice to see that she's sitting there just as confused as we are in her confessionals, thinking, yeah, I'm not buying this bullshit.
Yeah, and I like on social media, I think it was Twitter or X, whatever the fuck you want to call it, but it just astounds me because obviously we know with the Jersey fandom, there is a firm split down the middle and people are very opinionated. They're calling Fessler like two-faced Fessler and this and that. It's like, what do you want her to do? She's acting like a grown-up. She's talking to multiple parties instead of getting dragged down by trivial bullshit. That's not a problem. That's not two-faced. That's just being true to who you are. She's a real person.
And it doesn't make any sense either, because those people who were going after Fessler for the sake of Fuda and Marge, aren't you team Melissa? And Melissa's not doing anything.
Melissa's
sending her kids to college, and she's potentially talking to Jen Aydin later in the episode. And that's what I think the most frustrating thing is. I don't think that Melissa's having any sort of redemption here or doing anything good that we get to sit here and talk about and say, wow, Melissa's really changed. She's just not doing anything. And the fact that she's doing that, I mean, look, I don't know. I still think that her talking to Jen Aydin at the end of the episode is still a play of some kind, where she's trying to make Teresa jealous or trying to ruffle some feathers. I don't really care, though, because she's not doing anything actively. She's just sending her kids away to college. Now we just have Fuda and Marge stepping up and actively manipulating everybody else. So it's still the same shit. So I don't really understand the definition of teams at this point, because you're supposed to be backing Melissa. Melissa doesn't care. So now you're backing Marge and Fuda? Like, that's not a good look.
It's Fuda. They're backing Marge is backing Fuda. Fuda's backing Marge. They're backing each other. I actually don't mind Melissa this season because she's actually just like, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah, she really did take us. She said she wasn't going to talk about Teresa, and she really hasn't.
She's really not. So if she's able to stay true to form, like, I will actually respect that move. At least she's doing something different.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that because I'm sick of watching the same thing every season. But let's jump right in. And we start out with Joe and Marge and those frozen-ass burger patties that they're eating.
Yeah.
I thought, like, they biked to this place. I thought it was going to be like a badass burger, and that upset me out of the gate.
Okay.
So already I'm flustered. I'm like, why are we watching this? It's a Bubba burger.
Yep.
But anywho, they're talking about Louis and the fact that Fessler's playing both sides, and then Jackie chimes in out of nowhere in regards to her book. And now Marge is pissed because she didn't get a copy of her book, but Fessler got a copy of her book. Why is Fessler getting her? Like, this is where we're at in Jersey, we're pissed off about not getting an early copy of this book. Like, what are we talking about?
I'm actually okay with this. This is kind of funny.
It's funny, but it's like, fuck, this is what we have is books?
Yeah.
We're talking about books?
We're talking about books. I did think that it was funny. You could tell Marge was obviously throwing shade at random people, such as Melissa, saying she doesn't read fucking books. She's not sitting over there reading books. Like, that's supposed to be your friend, but whatever.
Why is that a dig? Like, she didn't even read.
Kid can't even read. But yeah, so Marge being pissed off about not getting a book from Jackie. Look, I don't know. I do think that if Jackie had sent Marge a book, she probably would have promoted it on her page, because her and Jackie are good. So,
okay, but who
whatever.
cares?
Like, who cares? It's her prerogative. And apparently it's not even her prerogative. It's the PR people. So what are you going to do? Just take it up with her directly. Don't bitch about it to your husband and then change the subject right afterwards.
She's
it's
like,
just strange.
Yeah, she's like, nobody supports me. And when Jan passed away, nobody reached out to call me.
That was, I think, the big issue. I think she just wanted to jump off with the book part. and then say it's really about the Jan issue.
But she says nobody supports me there.
Yeah.
Nobody called and reached out. Later on in the episode, she lays out that everybody reached out.
Except for Jackie.
So this is my issue with Marge. Is she says one thing, does another. She plays whatever narrative is going to work for her in the moment, but it never actually works for me because I'm watching and you're like, this is bullshit. Everything that you do is bullshit and produced, and it's really frustrating.
I will say at least one thing. It is a personal story for Marge, which we've never gotten before.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, every once in a while we get one, but like, if she's going to show some emotion and just feel betrayed by people not checking in, that's more than we've gotten in the past where she's just playing everybody else.
I'll give her credit for one thing alone, and that was a touching moment between her and Joe. That seemed like a genuine moment when they're hugging. That's all I'm giving her.
Yeah.
Because other than that, I thought it was all bullshit. But we get Fuda and Fessler sitting down and talking about the shore drama. And right out of the gate, Fuda starts crying. I'm really hurt, Jen. And I'm so glad that Fessler's normal because it goes to a confessional. She's like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand this. I don't know why I have to be a cog in this machine.
Yeah.
It's just boring at this point. Like, can we just move the fuck on? And Fuda goes back and says, it's just really hard to watch you sit down with somebody that's attacked my family. Run the tape back, you idiot. She sat down with her to clear the air about other shit. When you and Fuda and Fuda came up, John and Rachel, she said, did you imply that he's still a drug dealer? She was actually defending you. So what do you want from her? Is it the hug?
It's the hug. That's the only thing. She's not listening to anything the Fessler's saying. It's all optics. And it's just everybody else saw you and Teresa sitting down and you gave her a hug at the end of it. And it seemed like you guys were laughing about a couple of things. I don't like the way that looks because you're my friend and they know how I feel about Teresa. So we're watching Teresa talk about John's past. And then in real time, I'm watching you joke along with her.
Yes.
And that's what pissed me off. And look, I think all the people out there that are saying Fessler's two-faced or whatever, they're just, it's RHONJ brain rot right now.
Oh, that's a good way
where
to put it.
Everything has to be a side. You can't ever see anything for the middle. And why are we just allowing, if this is how you feel, why are you allowing Dolores to do it?
Correct.
Dolores is actually doing that. She doesn't want any part of this, and she is friends with both sides, and nobody's going after her or Paulie. I guess,
They don't
John
have
Fuda
the
went after
balls to
Paulie
go
last
for
week.
Dolo.
Exactly. So you're going to go after Fessler because she's new, whatever. I actually like this, and I'm hoping that this is Fessler's motive and her play for this season is to just be a normal person.
I love it.
And talk to people because everything else is so fucked and so backwards at this point after years and years of doing the same thing that if she's just a normal person, it's going to bring a new dynamic to it. And maybe, and this is just wishful thinking, other people will follow suit and say, wow, that looks fun.
No, nope.
Being normal, that might make for good TV.
No
No,
shot.
it's not going to happen. But I know. A guy can hope.
You can hope, but it's not going to work. And she says, I saw that conversation as a victory, actually. And Fuda's like, well, I saw it as bullshit, and it really hurt me and John. This show is not about John, okay? It is not. It's simply not. So stop throwing him into the mix here. And also, don't call this bullshit because she didn't draw blood for you. And that's what Fessler goes on to say. It's like, I'm not going to do this for you. Same thing I said to Marge. I'm not getting involved as your fucking soldier. Not my place, not my vibe, not who I am. I'm cool with everybody. I treat situations like a grown-up. Read about it someday. You go into a conversation, and you don't try to attack them.
Will Fuda get a copy of the book?
I don't know if Fuda got a copy. Maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? But Fessler says to her, like, Fuda says, I think you just need to remove yourself from this. It's like, what do you think she's doing? She's not really involved. She's clearing her part of it so that she is able to move on from it. That's what the conversation with Teresa accomplishes. She can move on from it, and it won't be hanging over her head, and Teresa can't use it against her in the future. Clear the air, move forward. That's what she's doing, is removing herself from it. And she goes on, like, it gets so deep the whole time. And that's where it's so clear to me that Fuda is trying to do the absolute most to be an integral part of the season because she's like, I feel like I'm mourning a lost friendship. Then you're a fucking child.
Yep.
And you don't know how friendships work because you want her to fall in line with whatever bullshit you're doing. Let's also remind you that Fessler's older than you. She's been through more than you. She has a different outlook on life than you. She's not going to get caught up in random nonsense for the sake of a 32-year-old that wants to drum up some shit. It's not worth her time.
That's why I'm not taking any of the things that Fuda says seriously, because she's not doing it genuinely. She's not looking at Fessler actually hurt. This is just not working for her narrative. She thought that she could have people on her side and we would take down the other big bad team together. Nobody wants to see that. And you're pissed off that this isn't working, so you're just throwing this out here because there are people on the internet that are going to say, wow, good for Fuda for standing up to Fessler, for going to the other side. Like, they just know how this works. And more than anything, we know that Rachel knows how this works because she watched the show before.
Bravo lover,
this is what she's doing. So, yeah, no, I don't take anything she says seriously. It's obviously frustrating to watch, but I'm deciding to focus on the Fessler of it all in saying that she's doing a good job of making sure that she's in the middle. Did I just do it again?
Yep.
Fuck.
For those that don't know, we got a comment that we're repetitive or something like that. And you do on occasion say
the insert name of it all. Yeah, I didn't realize I did it.
Who gives a shit?
We do 5 episodes a week. We're sitting here for 10 hours a week. Fuck off.
Yeah, you know, that was...
you do a podcast.
It was fan of Ray said it, who used to be a fan of the show. And he said that, or she said, they said that they're losing, or we're losing them. I'm sorry. That's how we talk. It's not intentional. That's how things come out. We do our best to mix it up. But then we get stuck on words. It is what it is.
We do get stuck on words. You should go back and do that.
It's the podcast of it all.
Mm-hmm. It is the podcast of it all.
Nice. See what I did there. But we get the Jen Aydin's dog party, and you get Jackie, Dolores, Fessler, Teresa, and our newest housewife, Gia. Except bruh. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, no. I hated this whole thing. I thought that Jennifer Aydin's daughter stole the show. She's hysterical.
She usually does.
Yeah, she always does. She's great. Every time she's on camera, she's funny, delightful, all of those things. But this whole thing, first of all, contest was rigged. The fact that Biscuit
contest
won
was rigged.
That's bullshit.
For sure.
We gotta have some better judges out here.
I'd be furious if my dog showed up to that and I didn't even get a second look.
That's what I mean.
Because Biscuit won?
Yeah, Biscuit.
Come on, it's Biscuit's party.
That's bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. But hey, it is what it is. We get Lina. I don't know Lina. Lina's a hairdresser for some of the women in the group, I believe, and in the area, so she's friends with everybody. And this scene is so pre-planned. It is such a setup. It is not at all cohesive because Jennifer Aydin brings it up. It's like, well, Lina knows Danielle well, don't you, Lina? Lina forgot her lines.
Yep.
And goes, I just, the incident at the,
You guys were there,
You remember? It's like, oh, wait, let's run it back. Did you get the script? Did the content creator send you the script? I told them to.
And there is more to be said about this relationship between Lina and Danielle. Obviously, this was a terrible, clumsy scene. And Jen even said as much in her confessional where she said, yeah, I figured it'd be better if Lina said it than me.
But that's my point.
Okay, that's what she did last year with the Melissa cheating rumors. That's what she always does. So that's what she's going to do. Maybe don't admit it in your confessional.
It takes away from everything.
It does. It takes away from everything. But there is a lot more to dig into for the Danielle Lina of it all. Like that.
Hey-o.
But so essentially what happened is, and Danielle's admitted to a lot of this. Essentially what happened is Danielle went there. She got her hair done for free. And she said that she would promote the business. She never promoted the business. And then all of this happened that we hear from the scene. So Danielle's come out and she's agreed to a lot of it. So it's, probably true.
It seems true. Like they went to a party and there's a VIP section. It was Danielle's party that was hosted by Teresa, Dolores, and Jen Aydin, I believe.
Yeah.
And Lina came and was sitting in the VIP section and got the boot from it. Said, oh, no, I'm friends with Danielle. The security guard went over to Danielle. Danielle was like, no, get her out of here.
So there's got to be more there, and I'm sure more will come out as we go. And I probably have to wait until the reunion for all of it, unless there's more on social media, which it looks like Lina is talking a lot on social media, so she might spill the beans here or there. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. If it's actually a pressing issue, we'll keep an eye on it. But honestly, Danielle's not doing enough on the show right now for me to really give a shit. She's, what is she, in the Dominican right now? And then she comes back a little bit later in the episode.
Seen her much.
She doesn't do a whole lot, and she's very careful with what she says around people like Teresa and people like Melissa, because she's middle ground right now, not trying to get involved. And obviously there's the Jackie thing later, so we'll see how that goes, and we'll talk about that in a bit. We'll keep an eye on this. I just don't know if it's going to be that pressing of an issue.
I don't either. I mean, we'll find out. I'm sure they're going to try to use it to their advantage in some way, shape, or form.
Someone will, yeah.
The funny part, I'm glad Dolores is there. And I'm always glad when Dolores is in scenes because her and Fessler are my go-tos for, all right, let's take the temperature of what's actually
Yeah,
going
let's see
on.
some logic.
Yeah, and Jackie speaks up after they said that Rachel didn't go because of Teresa being there and Marge was invited, but she didn't go either. And that's where Teresa makes her awesome joke. Well, which dog would Joe bring, Marge or the real dog?
Crickets.
Put 'em, like
Do you think that was actually
crickets, or was that a
silent?
production?
I think it was production.
I don't care because
Somebody definitely
it
laughed.
was a dumb joke anyway,
Yeah.
so I really don't care either way. But Rachel not going because of Teresa, Jackie decides to speak up and says, I wouldn't bat an eye. We're all good. Dolores, cut to confessional. What the fuck's going on here? Like, last year you wanted nothing to do with Teresa. You wanted to kill Teresa. Now everything's all copacetic. And I think that was the MO last year with Jackie. She is still butthurt about getting demoted. She's trying to figure out how to be full-time again. Last year, she set her sights on Danielle. She tried to do that at the beginning of the season. It's falling flat because no one gives a shit. Danielle doesn't even give a shit. She's trying to pick up false narratives everywhere. This is a big part of it. And now she has sided with Teresa for the time being. Dolores calls it out. Doesn't make any sense. But we talk about the softball game that's coming up and the fact that Louie and John need to just sit down and talk. And this is where our newest housewife chimes in. She's not under contract yet, but friend of Gia Judice chimes in and says, Louie's a good dude. But I hear him sometimes. I'm like, Lou, that's not you. Hey, Lou.
Lou, that's not you.
Hey,
Come on,
Louie.
come on.
That's not my Lou. I don't know. Like, the fact that she's chiming in now, I feel like Bravo is reaching into every single alcove to try to find something to spark this show. Look, she's been on Housewives for the majority of her life. All right. She's watched Teresa, who is one of the OGs of Housewives in general, do her thing. Could Gia have a spot on Bravo somewhere in the future? Sure. But I know from my feelings on the matter, and I know from reading comments, not well received that she's chiming into the drama. Like, you don't need another teammate on one of these teams.
No, you really don't. And obviously, that's a born-in teammate.
Yes.
So, not going to work. They tried to do this last year, too. She chimed in a little bit
she
here
got
and there. And then
confessions
towards
last
the
year.
end, she just kind of went away.
Yeah.
So, I don't really know what to make of it all. I don't know if this is going to continue to happen. Who the fuck knows? I don't need her chiming in, though, because she's not really saying anything.
No,
She's just agreeing with her mom.
right and saying
So,
that
no.
Teresa's right, Mom's right.
Yeah.
Now, do you think this was a Teresa push? Like, hey, I want you on the show. Because I do think that she has the power to move things.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, why wouldn't she be on the show a little bit here and there? I don't think she's getting paid for it, but might as well chime in here
I
and
bet
there.
she
if
is.
you're gonna do it.
She's an
Think so?
adult. She's 22, 23.
I don't know how that works. If you do get paid for that, if you're an official friend of, if you're even on the cast or family members, I don't
think
know.
it-
The husbands don't get paid, so I don't think the Gia would.
Well, no, but the husbands get a stipend when they're on.
Right.
Chris said that before. They're not under contract, but they do get financial compensation.
Okay,
in
then
some
that's
way,
probably
shape,
what she's getting.
Okay.
Some sort of stipend.
All right. Well, moving on from there, we get to see Antonia off to college. It was a very touching send off. You know, that's been kind of honestly, the main focal point of the season is that the kids are going to college.
Yeah, I know.
So we get to see Antonia off to college. And then we get Nate and Danielle getting ready for a fashion show for bougie kids. And we find out that Danielle's still at odds with her family, hasn't talked to her dad in like a year or something like that. And Nate's trying to figure out if there's a way forward with the dad. And I guess he does reach out to her to talk. She hasn't replied yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen some things online where it's like, well, if like all these people don't want to talk to her, maybe it's her fault. Maybe she's the common denominator. I don't think that you can ever speculate on family drama. Like, who the fuck knows what's going on there?
And on Jersey.
But we don't even know what happened. We don't know the root of the issue still. We just know that the brother will not talk to Danielle, iced her out allegedly because of the wife.
Right.
I don't know where the dad comes into play now.
I think
He's
the
siding with
dad
the brother.
was siding with the brother at one point in time, or at least just showing compassion to the brother's side of everything. Sat down with him. Danielle got upset about it. How could you do that when... I don't know. It's just the Family Matters thing with Danielle isn't going to
Great
hit.
show.
Yeah, it's just not going to hit because we're not privy to the things that are going on, and we're not that close to Danielle.
That's what I mean.
So you can try to keep talking about this, but until new details come out, until Danielle's willing to share all of it, until, some shady podcast probably interviews her brother, that's going to happen, I'm sure,
That
at
will
some
definitely
point.
happen.
So until we get all of that information, this isn't doing anything for me.
I agree. It just kind of falls flat as with the rest of it. But Paul and Dolores getting ready for the softball event. They've raised, at this point in the show, before we get to the actual event, $125K. 4,000 people are coming to watch, which is like 700 more than last year. We still haven't gotten an invite to play.
Yep.
I will keep pushing for that. We will be the MVPs on your team.
The fucking game is rigged, by the way. There's no way that they win every year.
Put us on the other team.
I know. Put us on the other team.
We'll
Put us
beat
on the
you.
doctors.
I'll beat you all. We will beat you all.
Beat you all. But I do love the little comment that Paulie throws in there where Dolores asks the last time that he swung a bat. It's probably 25 years ago. Were you playing baseball? Nope.
I need a backstory on Paulie.
Yeah.
I need to know what. I'm not going to make any baseless claims.
No, we're not going to speculate on any of that.
I just need to know my man's background, especially with comments like that. Because I already have an idea in my head. Then he says shit like that. I'm like, I got to know.
Gotta know.
Got to know what you've been up to, pal. It could be a very cool story. Could be not a cool story.
Could be not that great.
I don't know, but I need to know. I need to know. But we get the Jen and Melissa drama, and Melissa's upset, obviously. And this one's like tough for me because, Jen Aydin's saying, as I get closer to Teresa, I see that the Gorgas are just shitty people. Okay, fine. If that's how you want to play it, fine. Lest we forget last year, you're the one that was spreading the rumor about Melissa cheating on Joe, even though you knew Melissa already knew the rumor. And that's where we get the clip of, well, yeah, I knew, but I wanted to come out here because I thought it'd be better for the storyline. And we got that in the reunion last year.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, how can you be anti-Melissa when you were the one spreading a rumor that could end her marriage? And she's mad at you about that, and now you are just like, I get it, Teresa. She is a piece of shit. It's like, you're a piece of shit. You're the one that tried to ruin a marriage because of Teresa.
Yeah. I don't really understand any of this.
Let me take it further. Sorry, not to cut you off. You're still tight with Teresa after Teresa set you to go do this. She set you up to ruin a marriage, and that's not a problem to you at all. Jen Aydin sees no issue with that. Granted, Jen Aydin and Teresa have been paying content creators. I found another thing out. For 10 years, this has been happening. A decade of paying content creators to push false narratives.
No one pay us.
It's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
We need to get paid. But
we need to get paid.
The fact that this has been going on for a decade is fucking nuts to me. And the fact that Jen Aydin can take any other stance against Melissa, seeing as she's the one that was trying to break up a fucking marriage. Again, like, there's things that transcend TV that we talk about where it's like, do you really want to be that person? Let's say it works. Let's say your big master plan works. Their marriage falls apart. They get divorced. The kids are too old for that. So now they're all fucked up because they're teenagers. You fucked up everybody's life for a TV show. Is that really where you want to be when Jesus comes home? Uh-huh.
What?
That's a Joe Dirt line.
Okay, all right. I didn't catch that one.
What is it? Is that really want to be where Jesus comes back? Yeah. Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt.
Put an E at the end. It's not pretty cool. Joe Dirt. If you haven't seen that movie, maybe we'll review that.
That would be a good review.
Phenomenal.
I don't even have to rewatch it to review it.
Me neither. I know.
Rewatch it because I want to.
Verbatim.
Yeah.
Word for word.
Yep.
But we get to the pregame at the game, and this is where you get some more drama between Jackie and Marge and Danielle. And it'll make me laugh every time Jackie's trying to drum up shit between her and Danielle, because Danielle just says, like, how are you invited to the dog party?
Well, at first they exchange a kiss.
Yeah, which I thought was forced.
And Jackie says, you smell nice.
Nice.
So it's like, all right, you trying to be nice? What's going on here? Immediately after, Danielle goes, wait, how the hell did you get invited to that?
Which was kind of funny.
Kind of funny.
Also, like, a valid statement.
It's a valid statement because we've talked about how Jackie's going after Danielle. We've had them talk separately. Now we actually get them face to face. And instead of them just being, which we see a lot on this show, walking past each other, maybe exchange a hello, nothing after that, at least do something about it. At least say something. If this person has beef with you, start some shit.
And you kind of do.
Yeah.
But it's clumsy because
I didn't think it was that clumsy. I thought that it completely
Not Danielle.
No, Danielle dropping that started a whole conversation that led to Marge versus Jackie, and Danielle get to walk away.
Okay, that's fair. I
That's
think
a good move.
the retort for me was like schoolyard shit because Jackie goes, "Well, why did you get invited to that?" Like she just imitates Danielle. I'm like, ugh, like that. I don't like when people do that. I think there's more clever ways to go about your business. So that frustrated me, I guess. But you're right. It does lead to some actual shit, which we've been like hungry for at this point. Like, give us something new to sink our teeth into. And Jackie calls out Marge and says, "You never take my side. Marge, what have you done for me?" And that is Marge to a T.
Yep.
She just explained her whole personality. What have you done for me recently, by the way? Not over time. She is just waiting for somebody to do something nice for her in the moment so that she can use it. If you haven't done anything for her recently, she doesn't fucking care about you. She's very selfish and is out for herself. I thought it was hysterical that Jackie's like, well, writing changed me as a person. I'm not taking your shit anymore, Marge, which, hey, by the way,
Fine.
yeah, if it did, and this is the whole thing, Jackie, if you want to get back on the show full time, fucking gun it for Marge.
Yeah.
That I will watch.
Go toe to toe with someone, and don't pick on the new cast
Danielle.
members.
Correct.
Don't pick on somebody who doesn't have a side. Pick on the big people like Marge. Pick on Teresa if you want to do that, or Jen Aydin, or Fuda at this point because she's rising up to Marge level.
No, she's not. She thinks she is.
She thinks she is, but at least in the eyes of a lot of people watching this show, she is, and it's really weird. Go after the big guns and try to do something because that's going to make sure that we're paying attention. We're like, oh, Jackie, look at you getting involved.
It worked. This scene actually worked. Jackie versus Marge is, for whatever reason, captivating.
Anybody versus Marge is going to be captivating at this point. Just talk back to her the way that she's talking to you.
And she's saying that she's not going to take her shit anymore. Marge is like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I love Jackie's response. Then don't do it. See ya. This, Jackie, that works.
Yep.
So keep gunning for Marge. It's working. We like that. But the best part about it, I'm not even really sure what they were fighting about, to be honest with you. I even wrote down at the bottom what the fuck just happened. I wrote right there. Look,
It's pretty much, it's just everything that we watched Marge do in the beginning of the episode talking about Jackie comes out in that moment. And this is how Marge operates. We just saw her do it on TV for once, where she sits down with Joe, probably Joe, or maybe another person, maybe her assistant, whoever the fuck she's going to sit down with, and she talks shit on people that she thinks might go after her or might do something wrong to her. And she comes up with it in the moment. Yeah. Usually we just see her come up with it in the moment. We're like, all right, Marge had dirt. This time she actually decided to come back with it. But it doesn't pertain to this situation.
That's fair.
Jackie's talking to you and saying, I'm not going to stoop down to your level. I'm not going to let you talk to me like that. You're bringing up the book.
Yeah.
Jackie's like, the PR people told me who gets the book and who's going to promote it. You weren't on the list. Sucks to suck, Marge. That's the end of it.
That's a great sentence.
Fine. You're not gonna reach out to me about my ex-husband dying. She was at the funeral. She was at everything. She was at the wake. She talked to you then. You want her to check in every week. I don't think you guys are that close, but you're gonna play it up like you're that close because you want the sympathy from the audience. And you're getting it for the most part from some people because they are so blind in their loyalty to whatever side that they support. So people are gonna say, oh yeah, that is fucked up by Jackie because other people are reaching out. I don't even know if these other people are reaching out. If you don't know that you're feeling some type of way, or if Jackie doesn't know that you're feeling upset about this, you want her to just reach out randomly and say, hey, I just felt it in the cosmos. Like, that's not how that works. You guys probably don't talk all the time. So for her to come back with all of this in the moment just shows me that Marge doesn't really think on her feet that quickly. She just has these pre-plans.
She's a planner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good call. Yeah. But I love that she leaves that conversation and she's like, I'm shocked. I'm shocked at Jackie. I'm like, good. Good job, Jackie. For once,
ruffle some feathers.
Good job. You did good, kid.
Get people uncomfortable.
Yeah, but we get an awkward interaction between the Gorgas and the Ruelas family as they all walk in. No one really acknowledges. I will give Melissa props, whether it was for the show or not, to say to her son, hey, go give your aunt a kiss. At least you're bridging that gap to where you're like the kids.
They've always done that. I think, well, at least Melissa has done that. Now,
she has always done that.
We've seen Teresa talk about it, and she says, I wish that you guys could be closer to your cousins. And then we see somebody like Gia step in and say, well, if they're going to be like that with Melissa and Joe, then we're not going to have to deal with it. But I always see Melissa or Joe saying, go talk to your cousin.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to bridge that gap in there, even if there's nothing between Melissa and Teresa. So, look, we'll point it out when we see things like that. It is nice.
Yeah, it was. And we get to the game, and we get a Gertie shout-out. Love that.
Oh, yeah.
Dolo is playing for Gertie, and that's awesome. We love Gertie on this show. She's the best. But you get a quick check-in with Jen Aydin, Jackie, and Teresa, and they want to know what the kerfuffle was in the locker room before the game. And Jackie just says nothing. I'm just going to be friends with whoever I want to be friends with. Cut over to Fessler and Marge, and it's the same fucking conversation. Mm-hmm. And Marge is upset because Fessler talked to Teresa and Jackie, and Fessler reiterates for the umpteenth time, I will not be mean for no reason. I'm not going to be mean on your behalf, Marge. And let me take it a step further. If you, Marge, or anybody asks somebody to be mean on your behalf when they have no dog in the fight, you're a bad friend. There is a sense of loyalty, sure, but there's also being a grown-up and not causing a scene for the sake of causing a scene so you can say, hey, I got your back. There's a time and a place. If it pops up and she's talking shit about you, Marge, that's when you want a friend to step in and be like, whoa, 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 not here, not to me. That's not going to happen. That's different than Teresa saying, hey, Fessler, can we have a quick chat? And Fessler going, fuck you. That's from Marge. Like, what is that going to do?
Tell him large Marge sent you.
Tell him. That's a t-shirt.
There we go.
Tell him Marge sent you. Oh, I like that. That actually might be a t-shirt.
You know that reference?
Oh, no.
Oh, it's Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure.
I haven't seen that in
forever. Man, it's when he gets out of the truck after hitchhiking, and the woman has like the scary face, and I think she says to Pee Wee, "Tell him large Marge sent you."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, they'll just tell him Marge sent you.
Okay.
And I think that could work. I've been thinking about revamping the merch.
The picture of her screaming with her finger out like that.
I think this is actually a shirt.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about getting back in. We have no merch, really. Even though we have an Etsy site, I don't even know if it's still active. I need to. People ask for it, and we don't have it. And I'll talk to you about that after. A company did reach out to us in like the partnership DMs about potential, something like that.
Okay,
So
all right.
We'll chit-chat about that after. I'm glad I just remembered that because I would have forgotten because I forget everything. But anywho, back to the story. By the story, I mean the show. Back to my stories, man. Where it's not even the second episode.
Fucking off the rails.
Bill and Jen Aydin are chit-chatting, and Jen's upset because Bill talked to Joe. And this is my point. And you came over last night, and I had watched Jersey, and it was still on TV. You walked in. You hadn't watched it yet. And you said, how is it? And I said, it's tough to watch. Nobody's allowed to talk to anybody else. Bill and Joe talking, and I guess this goes back to what we saw in the off season where there was a party, and Joe threw something at Jen. Okay, fine. Should your husband be talking to him if the air is not cleared there after he threw something at you or something like that? Yeah, okay, I can get that. I guess, but at the same time, it comes back to if the entire cast gets chastised for talking to one person, and there's so many little sects now, like tiny factions. There's like twofers.
Mm-hmm.
You got duos all across the place, so it's like if you guys can't coexist, there is no show, and that's where people get frustrated because we say this a lot, I guess, about like some of the shows we don't agree with. But look at Potomac. It's the Potomac narrative. If you don't talk, the show goes down, period. And you're having too many people incapable of talking to somebody else without catching shit for it, and that's not fun to watch. Why are you talking to them? Not a great show. But I'm glad in that moment Melissa comes over and talks to Jen and says, hey, I think it would be good for us to have a sit down. I think it's time, and it can be at my house, it can be at your house, it can be for lunch. I don't really care. It can be just you and I if you're not comfortable with Joe there. And you can tell me I hate you. I don't care, but let's figure this out. And this for me, again, watching, if it is her planning things, fine. People are allowed to plan on these shows. We've watched across the board. People set things in motion, and it works sometimes. If Melissa's laying back for her own benefit and using this as a move, great. If she's not, great. But this is why I actually like Melissa's play this season, because she's sitting in the background. She's trying to bridge a gap between Jen Aydin and her, which, by the way, would ruffle the feathers of the Teresa group.
Yep.
That's a move, and that could be interesting. But that's the only thing I can take away from this episode where I'm like, that other than Jackie coming to Marge, those are the only two things in 45 minutes that are worth discussing.
Yeah, and it's tough to watch, too, obviously, from last week. We had Joe reaching out to Bill, saying it would be really nice. Now, look, when Joe does something like that, that is manipulative. Because he did not once mention Jen. If he had said on the phone call, I'd love for you to be at my birthday party, obviously more than welcome to bring your wife if she's okay with that. He didn't say any of that. So that's just Joe manipulating the situation and trying to ruffle feathers because that's what he wants to do. And he can never seem to stay out of it, even this season when it looks like they're trying to stay out of it.
Yeah.
He's still going to do stuff like that to try to get to the other side. So I think after watching last week where Jen actually felt like her husband stood up for her, now watching this, like, yeah, you can go over and say hi to Joe, but you don't have to like grab him and start wrestling with him because then that shows, okay, there is no alliance between my wife and me.
Well, you can also tell that Bill doesn't take it seriously.
Bill's
at all,
not taking it seriously.
because he's
and
like,
Joe
this is what a real man does. I'm taking you down. Ha ha ha. It's like, well, now you look like an asshole because
Yeah.
you're not supporting your wife.
Exactly. You're not. You went right from last week supporting your wife to this week not supporting your wife, and that is way more in line with what Bill is, especially with his marriage going on. So I don't really have any issues with that. And Melissa, again, it seems it could still be a play. It seems genuine that she's coming over and saying, "Look, if you don't feel comfortable with Joe being there, fine. We should sit down and we can talk. If it is something to ruffle some feathers, it at least gets us talking about something.
That's what I mean.
I'm okay with it from a viewer standpoint.
Play or not, it works.
Yep.
So at least it's something. But yeah. Anywho, did you even put questions up? Nice. Let's get to some questions to the interim question master. Not relinquishing my throne yet.
Nope.
Nope.
You came back last week.
I know, it was nice.
From Marissa and Palma, was this episode a hard launch of Gia becoming a friend of? She's getting lots of screen time.
Potentially. I don't think it was well received. So I'm curious if they've already made the season, so it won't change anything. I'm curious if we'll get more of her. Like you said, we got snippets last year, and then she kind of faded. So I don't know. I don't know if that was she was in the house, and Teresa's like, oh, can we get Gia on here? Like, I don't know what the move is.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say hard launch for sure. I think they're probably just testing the waters again because they did it last year. Gia was in school last year. I mean, if she's going to become a lawyer, I don't know how much time she's going to really have on her hands.
Yeah.
Early time being a lawyer. So who knows? We'll just keep an eye on it. CC_Tut asks, is Jackie switching teams because she actually wants to be friends or for screen time?
B, screen time.
Yeah, I think it's screen time too. And I'm okay with it
I'm
because
fine
it's
with it.
doing something and it's bringing a different dynamic to the show that we haven't really seen, or at least for the last couple of years where everything's pretty stagnant. If we get people at least switching teams and there's still teams out there, we have something to talk about.
Is it going to work? I don't know. Is it something new and different? Slightly.
Yeah. All right, and then we have two questions that are very similar. I'm going to read them both because the one is a little more intricate. First up is Christy Jedlicki asks, if you coach the softball team for a charity event, which Bravo celebrities would be on your team? And then the other one is a little more specific from Holy Beck's Batman. Pick your RHONJ baseball team, gym class style. Rock, paper, scissors for who gets first pick.
I like that. That would
Well,
take.
let's do that one. That'll take a lot less time, I
I
think.
think that'll take less time. All right, so we got rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yep.
I always lose this without fail. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh my God, I won!
Oh!
Hey! All right. Up first, I'm taking Evan Goldschneider.
That's a really good pick.
Yeah, it's-
I'm going to take Louis.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He looks pretty fast on the diamond.
Feisty.
Yeah.
He's feisty. Second pick, I'm taking Frank, probably.
Okay.
Although did he even play?
I don't think he even played. He's got new knees, hips,
Yeah.
teeth.
Yeah, that might have been a mispick. Too late. Too late. I got Frank.
Too late.
Team morale's going to be through the roof, though.
Team morale is definitely going to be through the roof. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put Joe on the team with Louis.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a good move.
Force
I
him out
got-
there.
I got Evan, Frank, and then I'm thinking about it too much. I'm going to take Danielle. I feel like she could play softball.
That was my pick. Yeah. I'm going to take Dolores because she's done
Oh,
this.
that's a good
Yeah.
one. Like, I totally. Oh, Paulie.
Paulie, there you
Swung a
go.
bat before.
He's
not
swung
at
a
a ball.
bat before. We're not sure where. And we'll do like one more pick each, maybe. I'm gonna throw out Jen Aydin because she tries really hard.
She does try really hard,
Yeah.
but she's not very good.
Not very good, but she hit the ball this time.
She did hit the ball this time. My last pick is going to be. I'm going to take Fessler.
Can't hate on that.
Nope, that's my team. I got Evan, Frank, Danielle, Fessler, and that was my 4.
That was your 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that team.
It's a good team.
Not bad.
Good squad.
Bad. Yeah, your team's going to be in shambles because of Joe and Louie. So
That's fine with me though. I don't care about winning. I just want to watch it unfold.
I just want to have
I
fun.
just want to have. Well, that wouldn't be fun.
Well, I don't know.
Could
The
be
drama.
fun. Who knows?
But Other than that, you got anything else?
I don't.
Well, remember to sign up for Brav Bros members. We got Boston in what, 2 weeks?
Yep.
I believe it's
3 weeks.
sold out. But
3
if you
weeks.
want to check those tickets, maybe something came open, go ahead and check those tickets. But I do believe that show is sold out. We will have more dates for you in the fall. We're going to take the summer off on touring. Did we call it touring?
We're going to call it
I
touring.
like calling it touring. It makes us sound more official.
For
Makes
sure.
me feel better.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna take a break from touring the U.S. for a little while.
Now we got to sound like Sandoval.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a break from live shows for the summer.
There you
and
go.
we're gonna get back into it in the fall. So keep an eye out for dates. We're aiming for a Philly date in September, somewhere around there. So keep your eyes peeled. And other than that, Brav Bros are out of here.
Later.